Right, joining us now from Miami in Florida is Kenneth Katzman, a senior fellow at the Soufan Group, specializing in the Middle East with an emphasis specifically on Iran. Thank you for speaking to us. Now, we have heard several statements today. We've heard them from Netanyahu, first one from the new Supreme Leader. We've also heard one from Trump. This seems to be, now that we're almost into day 14, 2 weeks of a war, it seems to have turned into a war of not just the skies, but also a war of economies, even perhaps a propaganda war. From your perspective, where do you think we are in this conflict right now?
Well, thank you for having me, Sarah. Well, we're not in a great place. I mean, obviously, Iran is militarily not a match for the United States, so it has to use tactics very similar to, it's almost the same as the Viet Cong used in the Vietnam War. The objective is to undermine public support in the United States, embarrass the president of the United States, get the United States public nervous about the economics and the casualties. So it's the same type of strategy that Iran is using, and unfortunately, it's working until Mr. Trump's team can figure out how to get the Strait of Hormuz reopened. That's the priority now.
Right, and I just wanted to, you're talking about the Strait of Hormuz, I'll pick up on that because Trump is sort of projecting, let's say, an optimistic outlook on gas prices. His Treasury Secretary saying that the US could help vessels move through the Strait of Hormuz. But interestingly, his Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, saying that the Navy isn't ready to do so. He said this just yesterday into today, and said that they might be able to do it, but not till the end of the month. Now, keeping that in mind, what do you think is happening here? Because it's really hard to understand how the US didn't anticipate this ahead of going into this war.
Well, that is a question. Perhaps preparations should have been more advanced, but he didn't say the strait couldn't be reopened till the end of the month. He said there could not be an escort mission till the end of the month. There are ways to open the strait without necessarily an escort mission.
Such as what ways would you think that would be?
Well, it is possible to intensively, focus one's airstrikes on the ports and the boats that would be threatening the strait, and the coastal defense batteries, the cruise missile batteries along the coast. I mean, there's ways to make progress on it towards getting it reopened, short of an escort mission. But of course, an escort mission is probably needed to give all of the shipping companies enough confidence to start reusing the strait again, yes.
It's interesting you say that, because when you hear from Iran, and of course, as I was saying, it's very difficult to know who's trustworthy in all of this to some degree. Iran has shown these sort of underwater drones. They've revealed these videos of what they're saying are underwater drones. We know that they said they could use mines. They've also talked about the fact that when one of their vessels was torpedoed off the coast of Sri Lanka, they said that they have this new technology where they can torpedo under the water and go undetected. So, perhaps the US could be up against it and maybe not be able to take control of that strait.
Well, Iran makes a lot of claims. They claim to have a hypersonic missile, too, and they don't. Their supposed underwater technology did not help when the U.S. submarine sank that ship off Sri Lanka. So I don't believe Iran's claims, and we shouldn't. But, you mentioned a statement from the Supreme Leader. It was not a statement. It was a statement in the Supreme Leader's name. He did not appear. His voice was not there. We don't know who wrote that statement. It certainly raises a tremendous amount of questions why, many days after he was anointed, he still has not appeared in public. So I think the doubters who say that he's either comatose or possibly even deceased are gaining currency, I would say.
And that's the thing, it's very difficult in this war to know what is right and what's wrong, who's lying and who isn't, I suppose. Thank you very much for your thoughts there, Kenneth Katzman.